Welcome to Wild, Women in Lending Determined to Make an Impact. I'm your host, Robyn LaVassaur. They say our biggest fear isn't being inadequate. It's being powerful beyond measure. In this podcast, I will share how to break through imaginary ceilings, lean into success, discovering your purpose, and understanding how to create the business and life of your dreams. From failures to triumphs and all the tactics in between, let's jump into the wild arena together. Welcome back to Wild with Robyn LaVassaur. We are going to cover probably one of the most profound lessons that I learned in my adult life, and that is mentors. Essentially, who do you follow? And if you do follow them, do you truly follow them? So when you think about choosing a mentor or multiple mentors, which I highly recommend, I think it's such an interesting concept. When we are young, we often have people that we look up to and that we look to teach us things. In fact, we even ask permission if you think about it. So prior to 18 years old at a minimum, sometimes longer than that, we're asking somebody permission. Permission to go out, permission to drive the car, permission to hang out with certain people, permission to have money, spend money. All of the things that we're doing in life up until about 18 years old require permission. And who we're asking permission from, now some we're born to, right? Like it's parents and those types of things. But the next stage of who we're asking permission to is often possibly a coach, right? Can I do this? Maybe I have to miss practice. Whatever it is, we are surrendered for sure to different adults in our life who we respect enough, especially as we get older, right? As you get older, you start to pick and choose. Hey, do I respect you enough to follow you? Do I want to ask you questions? In high school, you really start to establish that, right? Some of it's required, but there's also that push-pull, right? As we become adults. All of a sudden, we're in college, free-for-all. Life starts, maybe no college, still a free-for-all, right? Everyone kind of goes hands off. Oh, you're an adult. You're an adult now. You're over the age of 18. You're possibly out of the home. And the general rule of thumb is you're on your own. And here's what's crazy. One of the things that I find is a weakness in us is, in general, asking for help or being vulnerable with where our struggles lie. One of the biggest shifts, first of all, I followed some incredible mentors. If you listen to some of the earlier podcasts, you'll hear me talk about some of the mentors that I got to ultimately learn from. I learned both good, bad habits, all different things, right, from those mentors. I didn't understand at the time that they were truly mentors, nor was I surrendered to them. I was ultimately working for them. That's different. That's different than a conscious choice. When I got Summit, I actually ended up being surrounded by people, and the word surrender came up. And I don't know about you guys, like as much as I love my role as a wife and as a mom and all the different things, I also get a little, when I hear things like, thou shalt obey in vows of a wedding, right? Like I'm like, I am a woman, hear me roar on the other side of it. And so I think that there's this balance of the word surrender sounds like, gosh, am I becoming prisoner to somebody? Am I giving up my own ability to think and have authority over my own life? The answer is no. However, the best of the best in all things have mentors, have people that they have chosen to surrender to. And here's what I mean by the word surrender. You don't just follow them. You absolutely seek a relationship with them, and you are willing to learn from them. You are wide open to observing, understanding, asking questions, and then giving them the parts of you that you know need work, that they're your mentor in. Hey, this is where I am broken. There's no point in everybody sitting around talking about how great their life is, or on the contrary, complaining about everything that's going on. In business, it's no different. When we choose mentors, we should be looking for people that you say, you know what? I might not even love everything about them, but in this right there, the way that they ultimately can generate leads, I need them to mentor me. And if you really ask for someone's help, if you ever had somebody ask you for help, you offer the most sound advice that you know, and you know that you're pretty darn good in that field, and they go, I'll take it under consideration. Thanks for the suggestion. I'll think about it. Or, makes sense. And then you watch them continue to have the same problem and never implement what you asked them to implement that you know from a distance would move the dial. We need people that have a different view of us, right? A different view of how to do the work, how to save money, how to have a great marriage, how to be a great parent. We need people who have different experience than us, and people that we can look to and say, you know what? I really, really love how you do this. I need to learn from you. There's that key word there when we say we want to learn from somebody, when we want to surrender to somebody. It really is about humility. And it's incredibly hard to do as adults when we want to maintain our pride, if you will, our ego of, gosh, I'm doing this, I'm working so hard and I've got this down. And what I have found was that I was more free, more secure, more confident than I had ever been when I started to seek out, identify, ultimately get into a relationship and surrender to mentors in different areas of my life. And so what areas are those for you? I truly believe that we all need different people, right? For instance, the owner of our company, he's divorced. He's not my marriage mentor. For sure, not my marriage mentor. However, and he would be fine if I said that out loud, just so you know. However, he has been uber successful in business and he has a lot of wealth. He for sure is one of my money mentors, for sure. My partner in the branch has I think 30 plus year marriage, a great faith, and is really good at money. For sure, I'm going to seek him as one of the people. When I bought a car, after I had been very successful financially, just so you guys have some context to this, I spent years not being surrendered. I feel like I want to buy a new car. I'm going to go buy a new car. I'm going to go to the car lot, by myself with my husband. We're going to look at cars. We're going to finance it. As long as it says we're approved, the people that don't care about us, they care about the sale. It says we're approved. I'm going to spend that money. It's a big decision. It's a big decision. Do you know how many people I see on a loan application that are upside down in their automobile, that they're drowning in a car payment? And I think to myself, you don't have a financial mentor. And so when I seek that, I literally, when I made the decision to buy my car, I called for financial mentors. I got opinions from all of them. I allowed for them to know all of the truth. And let me give you some context to that for a minute. You ever watch somebody go to the doctor and say, I don't know why I'm not feeling well, but maybe they never drink water. They don't get enough sleep. Maybe they're smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. They're drinking a whole bunch or, popping pills or doing whatever, but they're not disclosing that to the doctor. And they're like, I can't figure out why I don't feel good. Well, when I called about the car, it was like, let me give you the full rundown. Here's where my cash net worth is at. Here's where my budget is at. Here's our monthly income. Here's what happens in a contingency, right? All of the things in making the decision. What's funny is when I wasn't successful, I asked nobody. When I became successful, I asked the key people that I had chosen in my life to ultimately mentor me. And so how do you decide? Well, the first thing that I would tell you is be very observant of other people. Make sure that your mentor knows that you are asking them to mentor you in that space. And you've got to be in a real relationship because they have to be comfortable with telling you the truth, asking questions, you kind of exposing everything and vice versa. Right? You really want to be able to have conversations. Again, if I didn't understand the financial picture of somebody, I wouldn't have them be my financial mentor in any way, shape, or form. That's an important piece to me. I don't have somebody that doesn't understand fitness be my physical mentor, right? Be my nutritional mentor. That would be a silly thing to sign up for. By the way, didn't have one of those for a very long time. Enlisted in one of the last few years. Absolute game changer. I don't know why, but I put my own body, my own health at the very bottom of all of that. And so what a big game changer to choose that mentor. Business mentor. Who do you admire? What do you admire about them? Not who do you like? Hear me, there's a difference. I think sometimes we sit around with people we like and that like us, and the people that are ultimately going, I think that's a good idea. Oh, I love the people that challenge me. I love the ones that say, why? Have you thought about this? This is this. Can I be tough on you for a minute? Are you open to this? And the people that I've led in that way, that I've given permission, in fact, I've encouraged and said, like, shoot me straight, be direct with me. Where am I not seeing things in this? Wow, what a gift. Even if it's uncomfortable and I don't like what they have to say, if it keeps me up a little bit at night, I know they're telling me something that was probably hard to say, which means it's meant for me to hear. Right? Because when people can tell you things that are hard to hear, it's probably something you needed to hear the most, and they were the bravest, the one that cared the most to be able to say it. And so what I would tell you in general is, if you're just lending right now, loan officer in general, who are your mentors and why? Now, I chose a mentor once that worked round the clock. Wasn't the right mentor. Man, was she a good LO. not the right mentor overall. And so I had to admire all facets, right? It'd be like somebody that's like, oh, I really enjoy them as a marriage mentor. Overall, they seem really happy, but they hit each other from time to time. Not the right mentor, right? We've got to make sure well-rounded, like, hey, this is all things. So don't be afraid to, one, study, to engage and spend some time with those mentors. Just really know all areas. Ask them questions, right? Open yourself up. Then, hey, would you mind mentoring me? What does that look like? What does that look like? How often are we talking? What are we talking about? Where do I need you? What can I give you in return, right? Like, how do we do this together? And this could be anyone from somebody who's very close to you to somebody that you hardly ultimately know, but that you've admired and watched from a distance. My point is, people are better connected to people. And so make sure that in your business to always be growing, that you have mentorship, coaching, if you will, is a piece of it, but a little bit different. But ultimately, people in your life that are willing to tell you the truth, that you've given permission to yourself to know that everything that they give to me is going to be a gift to make me better, to help me grow, and to ultimately take my life to the next level in all the different spaces, whether it is health, finance, work, parenting, marriage, spirituality. In all places, there is always someone who is a few steps ahead of you that can help share how they got there and what you can do to join them. If this episode has been beneficial to you, I would love it if you would share. That's how we can all get wild together, and just really appreciate every single one of you for listening. We'll see you soon.